Hello, it's Sunday night and it's time for another ESC Fan TV. And tonight we're even doing the double. The double, you may ask? Yes, it may be 8 o'clock Central European time when you are. And yes, we've got a fantastic edition looking at Poland, but we're going to be back in 2 hours' time looking at Sweden as well. So don't forget to set your alarms. In the meantime, you may be thinking, what can I do? Click the like and subscribe button. There's loads of content on there, including last night's fantastic review of Vidbeer. We've got a preview of Slovenia there, which we're going to be covering on Bite Size later this week. And also, there's an interview with one of the Danish Melody Grand Prix contestants as well. Now, as always, I've got a panel of guests to help me through the evening. And first of all, it's a very big hello to Elliot.
Good evening, everybody. I am so tired after this weekend, I must admit. There's just been so much going on. I've lost track.
Yeah, you think this is bad? Wait until next week. This week is tame compared to what's going to happen. Also up, it's Joanne.
Hello, my lovely. I'm back again. Hi, everyone.
Hey, and also joining us, it's the fantastic Martin.
Hello, everyone. Yes, good to be here again.
Yeah, it's great to have you back as well. Don't forget, guys, as well, in the intermission, as I'm going to call the break between the shows tonight, you can also check out Martin's fantastic stuff on Let Me Be the One blog and radio show. Also joining us all the way from Australia, it's a very good morning to Gemma.
Hi, good morning, good evening.
Oh, yeah, but you've got a Polish flag and you're waving it around, so that's good. That's positive. Yeah.
Is it hiding the fact I'm still asleep?
Well, if you lift it up slightly, it just kind of... Oh, there we go. And also joining us, it's the fantastic Oben.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, Australia.
Now, where are you at the moment, Oben? Are you joining us from Turkey or Cyprus?
Cyprus, yes. For the last 6 months, I've cleared this up. I'm back to Cyprus and I'm staying here, but never know with me. You know that.
Hey, well, you know, but it's great to have you on. Okay, and also joining us, it's the lovely Ian. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening.
Hey, now, Poland, I have to say, guys, it reminds me ever so slightly of the time when the BBC used to do their Eurovision selection show on a Sunday afternoon. It wasn't this nice. A nice Sunday afternoon spent watching Eurovision. 3 contestants. I know Gemma is shaking her head, but I know that's because what time was the Polish selection show on for you, out of curiosity, Gemma?
Midnight. I've had 2 hours sleep.
Oh, that is dedication to the cause. That is dedication, and we thank you for it. Now, there were 3 contestants. They were each going to sing a Eurovision cover and then sing their own original song, which would become Poland's Song for Success, the song they were taking to Rotterdam in May. Now, first up was the lovely Kasia, 35-year-old singer. She came, or her team came 7th in 2012's Battle of Voices in Poland, and she reached the semi-final of The Voice in 2013 as well. Very, very distinguished singing career, and she opened up the show with a fantastic cover of Satellite. Let's take a listen. Well, let's go straight in. Let's go straight to Ian. What did you think of Kasia's cover of Satellite?
Pretty good. She's one of the better voices that came through from the three semi-finals. She's very close to the original for the start of it, and then it's a wee bit close to just being a copy of it. But no, it was good. Good version of it. She's got a fair power. She's just a little bit more control in her voice, I think. But no, that was a very good version of it.
And Joe, do you think this kind of set the stage for making the grade later on?
Yeah, with her as I don't know. I mean, when I first listened to it to start with, I thought, yeah, she's a little bit off on some of the. And I suppose some of the tune, part of the tune, and I think at one point she used it as a bit of a warm up because she was trying all different ways to sing it, and then I realised after I listened to all of them that there may be a problem with the sound in general or something. So, but yeah, I didn't think she did a bad job, and she was definitely the best of the covers. That's my personal opinion. I mean, out of all three of them, she did the best.
Now, I know someone who really did like the cover, and that was Martin. Martin, Kasia, what did you think?
Yeah, I think out of the three, she was probably the best because you've either got to try and match the original totally, or you do it your own way. And I think she was really the only one who gave it a go a bit differently, because really you can't really match Lena's way of singing, can you? Sort of like that German Cockney sort of mix. And she sort of gave it, I don't know, sort of jazzy sort of style, whereas Alicia and Albert really tried to go, copy the originals, and I don't think it really worked, but obviously we're going to talk about those in a minute. But yeah, I liked her. I think she went a bit OTT, she was going a bit too much showing off her range, but of the three, I think that was the best cover.
Now, for those of you that weren't watching, what happened is all three artists performed a cover, and then for some reason they then performed their original songs in reverse order. We're not going to confuse you with all of that this evening. Let's take a look at Kasia's original song she put forward.
You can't count on me when I say you're gonna make it. You can't count on me when my heart is nagging. You can't count on me. You can't count on me. I'm waiting.
Okay, I have to ask the obvious question, and I'm so sorry, Gemma, because it is probably too early in Australia for a cheesy kind of pun, but were you counting on Kasia to win? I have better ones lined up. I'm not going to lie.
I actually quite like the song, which surprised me, but it wasn't my favorite.
Okay. Now, Oban, it was accused that this could have had a dated feel to it. What was your take?
It did a little bit, but my problem with this song, I love the song. Like if I would just listen to radio, it's like it could have been like a great collaboration between a new upcoming female artist and an established DJ. That would be like something that I would tune into to see what's happening. But then her image, her styling, it's just didn't feel age appropriate for her, and maybe a little bit of a trick of a staging. She would carry this song better, but she definitely looked fierce. She definitely got the attitude, but it didn't match with the song for me. With the dress and the makeup and the hair, it didn't come together for me with the song.
Okay, and Elliot, Kasia, was this a hit for you?
No, because like we said, we keep going back to this word that it was dated, and it does sound like a sort of like 2000 era sort of dance club pop song. And although it's fun, it got very repetitive very quickly, and I just don't know how this was going to land in Rotterdam. So it's probably a bullet that they rightly missed. You know, her satellite cover was quite good because like Martin said, you can't really mimic Lena, so you have to do your own thing. Even though the backing track sounded like there was sort of Christmas bells in it, which threw me off. But yeah, this song, it was just a bit stuck in the past, shall we say? But she gave it a good go, bless her heart. She enjoyed her time up there, you could really tell. So there's that at least.
Yeah. Martin, do you want to wrap this up for us?
Yeah, I think she's probably the most entertaining to watch of all of them. She gave it a real good go, but I think she just went a bit mad with her vocals more than anything else. She was demonstrating that she could have a big vocal range, but sometimes it's better not that you don't need to demonstrate that. I think she started to go a bit off. There was a bit too much as the song went on, and I think that might have been where it all went wrong for her, really, because obviously we'll find out later that she didn't do that well.
Yes. Spoilers, Martin. Spoilers. Now, let's move on to in our whisk through these three songs. The next performer up was Alicia, and I've probably not pronounced her name right, and I apologise for that profusely. But 17 years old, I had no idea she was only 17 when I saw her perform today, and that may have come a shock to you guys as well. 17 years old. She did win The Voice this autumn in Poland as well. She did the second cover of the night with a cover of Lorene's 2012 seminal Eurovision hit, I think it's fair to say, Euphoria. Let's take a listen.
We're going up, euphoria, and everlasting peace. Beat up with me.
I can see Elliot's got his head in his hands. I know straight away. Elliot, let's go.
Why does everyone think they need to cover Euphoria when they say cover a Eurovision song? Because, like with Lena, the bar is too high for anyone to do what Loreen did. And this is what I hate. I wonder how much input these three artists had in their cover songs, because they're all very generic fallback songs of what's your favorite Eurovision song. The only one that was missing was Heroes, to be honest. I just no, she was trying to do what Loreen did, but she can't do a voice like Loreen, so and because her voice is so, I want to say, low, I guess she has quite a low range, it just came off like she was shouting, so it just became a bit difficult to sit through, to be honest, at points. And especially when you pick a song like Euphoria, where everyone like instantly recognizes it and the bar is, at an 11. Very brave for going for it, I'll give her that though.
It was. I'm just noticing in the chat room, Karen's, oh my god, I love this cover because I hate the original version. Just thought I'd throw that one in there. Also, a big hello to everyone that's in the chat room as well, by the way. It's great to see you all there. Don't forget to keep commenting because we love to hear from you. Now, back to my cheesy banners here. Joe, was Alicia's cover suitably euphoric?
Yeah, you really have got the cheese out today, haven't you?
There's better to come, trust me.
No, do you know what? I didn't like this one at all. In the group chat that we had at the time, I think I'd put WTF on it or something, because I just cannot believe how poorly that song was sung. And I didn't like the song anyway, not really. I'm not a fan of Loreen's entry. I mean, it's one of those that you think, in 2012 everyone loved, and now we're all fed up with it. And I have to say, she could have had a much better cover and sang it out of her skin and did much better. And it didn't harm her, obviously, but at the end of the day, it could have done. And I just don't think that it was definitely not suited to her voice. And she was flat. And this is where I came back to my original comment. I don't think the sound was that good in there, because there wasn't one single song that was sang absolutely note perfect tonight, this afternoon at all. And that was not sung well, unfortunately.
Now, Martin, covers on these types of shows aren't unusual, are they?
No, I think I mentioned during the national final that obviously the main one that came to my mind was Destination Eurovision in France had a covers section, and it's a lot of the artists, it more or less sunk them before they even got to their own songs. And I was sort of concerned for, as I say, Alicia and even Albert a bit, that we're going to mention in a minute, that the covers they did and how they came across might have actually damaged their chances of winning this whole thing, just purely because they sounded so off, and you just wondered whether maybe not so much the jurors, but whether the public watching would have gone, oh God, that sounded awful, and they've sort of in their mind already thinking, well, they're no good then. But you know, I think it seems to have affected the French more than it did the.
Sorry, my finger slipped. That's my fault. Carry on, Martin.
That's right. I'd finished anyway. So that's fine. I would basically not ever have a cover section. So for anybody else in the world who wants to do a national final, thinking about it, don't put covers in there.
Oh. Now this may come as a shock to people, obviously, because Elliot's maintains that element of surprise there. But we're going to take a listen to Alicia's original song. She sung the song Empires. Let's take a listen. Oh, now let's have a think about this. Ian's Empires. What do we think? Big ballad?
Yeah, it's certainly, I think it was the best of the three original songs. It didn't take much to Albert's one at all. I think it'll grab people's attention with a quite sort of broody, gentle start to it. It's a little bit too close to Blanche. She's very static on stage. But that sort of nice, gentle, low start, and then the build up into the more power bit the song. I think it's the more interesting of the three original songs, certainly. Not sure I'm saying the best of the three. I don't think any of them were particularly great. So it's gonna maybe kind of best of the bad bunch, really.
And let's move on.
Oh, it's really negative.
Do you know what? It's fine because we're going to pick it up anyway. And once we've done all three, we're going to be asking whether, quote, Poland will be building empires this year.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, come on! I'm with it. I'm down with the kids in it. Now, now, Oban, Alicia's Empires. How did you view this in the context of the three we were given?
This song is making me sick. This song was my least favorite. I'm trying to put myself into a Polish fan shoes, and I'm like, my blood pressure is rising, and my body is reacting to it. It's like, out of these three songs, this was their favorite. I mean, the lyrics, like every other Eurovision song, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, playing with fire. I'm like, don't do it. It's just not needed. I mean, Poland is the fifth or sixth most crowded European nation, and this is what they come up with. They have like millions of talented people, and I'm like,
but let's put this into context here, right? And I'm gonna have to go across to Gemma with this. She's 17 years old.
She's talented.
Big ballad. She's incredibly talented. Surely this is a song that maybe they've looked at and gone, this has potential.
Yeah, if she can, she's got months to learn. No, I don't know about you guys, but my entire stream of the Polish national final kept breaking up, so I'd only get about 10 seconds, then it would cut out. So I managed to watch all the songs bar this one, where it completely cut out. I then spent half an hour trying to find it again in the live stream so I could watch it, And in the end, I only ended up watching that little replays that were in it. And I was like, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of this one anyway. Of the ones to miss, I was okay with that.
Oh, now, Martin, come on. We're looking for some positivity here.
The positivity would be that the second time she sung it, I think she must have relaxed because I expect she was nervous because it was better. Vocally, it was better. Both performances, she actually did give lots of emotion and passion, which, as we keep saying, for a 17-year-old, I think that was pretty good. So I think in a way she's got the acting part and the connection part, which you'd probably expect from somebody who's won The Voice to have. And hopefully just with time she's going to get the vocals sorted so it's more powerful, because it's a power ballad. So you'd hope that there's some really impact. In a way, I'd like to, back in the old days, take it back to the 1990s and stick an orchestra behind her, because I think it'd be amazing. But, obviously then they'd have to revamp it majorly to do that. So.
But they could still, in the backing track, put a massive orchestra. Although, obviously, and we know this, it's not the same live. But I certainly think there is bags of potential here. Now, I have, in typical Jamala style, an uncomfortable question for any member of the panel that wishes to take it.
Screw it. I'm feeling brave.
Okay. Elliot, do you think your opinions on Alicia's cover of Euphoria has impacted the way you viewed her original song in any way?
I'm going to say no, actually, because the two songs were totally different. This was more stripped back and it showed off her voice better. So, you have to look at it slightly differently. The issue is that after the first minute of the song, you know where it's going, you know what the lyrics are, nothing changed. The one word I put underneath this song was revamp. It needs to be changed slightly. It needs a bigger build. It needs something. And to be brutally honest, I just think from the start, when I did a bit of digging, the odds were in her favour. Because, like you said, she did The Voice Poland and she won the week before Junior Eurovision in Poland. So everyone was watching it. Michał Szpak was on The Voice Poland that year, so already knew her, who was on the jury for this. So the public and the jury already know her. You've then got Albert from a different nation, and we don't know the Polish people wanted to send him because he represented a different country the year before. And then you've got Kasia, who's got this big voice, but it was a bit dated. So it was, when you look at it like that, it did feel like it was hers to lose. And the thing that struck me the most was that she seemed quite upset when she finished her Empires. She almost like, I've blown this. It looked like she was about to burst into tears when she sat back down. She looked really defeated. So I kind of went, well, she's gone. Let's worry about the other two then, because she looked like she'd lost it. So, yeah, this song needs a revamp. Something needs to change, because revamp needed. Make it more orchestral, make it bigger. But after the first minute, you know where the song is going.
Just before we move on to Albert, just do a quick show of hands, actually, amongst the panel. Who thinks this song is going to need a revamp before the final thing? So that Martin's got his hand up, and as if by magic, Ian's got his hand up as well. The power of StreamYard. Now, I think I would agree with you all. I think a nice big revamp, and I want a big orchestra there. It's got a potential to really shine. I think it's just got to be allowed to develop more. And of course, it's in semi-final 2 as well. I bet. Yeah, it's going to need to do something, I think. What do you think? Let us know in the chat room. Karen's has already said, yes, revamp is needed. And yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Now, let's move on, guys. Let's look at Albert. And apparently we missed Joe's Laurel Barker comment.
I got it. Don't worry. I heard it.
It's been noted.
I've marked it down.
Don't forget. I've also said Laurel Barker too. Now,
now we're up to date. Don't worry.
Love it. Oh, now, right. Let's move on to Albert. Now, he came in, obviously, singer of Lake Malawi. They came 11th last year with Friend of a Friend, 157 points in Eurovision, built up a massive following. Let's face it, the expectation was quite high when he decided to put himself forward for this. Now, obviously, he had to do his own cover as well. Now, for those of you thinking, would he take the easy option and cover A Friend of a Friend? It was mooted. This did not happen. Instead, he covered the gloriousness that is Alexander Rybak's Fairy Tale. Let's take a listen. Ah, and the cheesy links are back as well.
Oh God, I just read it. Oh. You're so proud of them, aren't you?
Oh, I am. Mainly because I know in a couple of hours Stuart will let me nowhere near the banner writing. Now, let's go straight to Oban. Did Albert deserve a fairy tale ending?
I think he did. I think he pulled himself out. He sang his heart out. He showed his vocal range. He enjoyed it. He looked into the camera. He communicated with the audience through the camera, watching them in front of their TVs. There is a reason why Czech Republic did so well last year, because these guys likable. These guys were Lake Malawi were likable. They're relatable. Their song speaks to you. Like, they sing about things that happens to all of us. It's not just like fake stories. And happened again. Fairy Tale. It felt like his song, and he was trying to tell his story. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was amazing.
And Gemma, would you do you think Albert should have gone one better?
Yes, absolutely. See, I was ready.
Hey.
No, I was listening to Hey.
What did you make of the cover?
So I was listening to Fairy Tale and I was like, actually, he's doing an all right job. And then it got to the end and I'm like, you know what? He's actually put a little bit of a Lake Malawi spin on it, which I was quite impressed with. I enjoyed it.
Hey. And Elliot, because you were, going on about, never, ever, ever cover Lorene's Euphoria. I mean, let's face it, this is a song that I think can be held in similar high regard, given the fact he always seems to pop up on the Eurovision stage every few years or so. This year being an example. Do you reckon Albert was right to cover Fairy Tale?
I'm not sure, because I don't think it suited his voice. I think if he did like Satellite, where he could put in his quirky fun charm in it, he could have fun with the song, I think it would have worked better. This, for lack of the better words, felt a bit too serious story-wise for him. I think he did an all right job, and he's like I said, he was looking down the camera. He just looked, but at the same time, because it was right there, he looked a bit nervous and lost at points. It looked like he needed his bandmates there to make him fully relax, and I just think that's what held him back. He just never looked fully relaxed, and what is effectively the one show as a Eurovision national selection, as opposed to the Eurovision stage, which he did just 10 months ago. I still think he did all right, but I think his voice is a bit too low to do what Alexander Rybak can do, personally. And I think he did it so similarly, musically. That's the problem. If he changed the arrangement, it would have worked better for me.
And international viewers, The One Show is an early evening programme on BBC One in the UK, just for international viewers, if you're wondering what that is. Now, Martin, wrap up our discussion before we go on to the original song for us.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was a bit karaoke at times, which is ironic, seeing you have all the words going on the back screen behind them all, so you could have sung along to it anyway. As Elliot said, I think it's another song that really is so iconic for one person that it doesn't really sound right when it comes out from somebody else's mouth. So yeah, it wasn't. I would have put it second out of the three personally. It wasn't as bad as Alicia's, and it probably wasn't as didn't have that twist that Kasia had. So, but I think it wouldn't have damaged his chances. Put it that way. If it had been in the French national final, he would have still been all right to go on to his original song. So.
Now, Albert's original song was Lake Malawi's latest track, simply called Lucy. Let's take a listen.
Like this.
not biased at all. Joe, do you love Lucy?
I do. And every single song that they do, I love. I'm a massive Lake Malawi fan. I love them. Yeah. Fucking fun. Just a shame it didn't go through, but hey, you know.
Oh, and Oban, I saw you kind of take the big kind of like, you know, relaxed kind of stance there. Was this a song you would have loved to have seen go through?
I mean, you won't believe I do also love Lucy, and I think it was the best. It was the best. It wasn't the best vocals. It wasn't the best attitude. It wasn't the best whatever. But overall, it was the best entrant to this national final. I really would love to see he would get the chance to represent Poland the 20 Rotterdam edition of the Eurovision. But oh well.
Sad time.
Poland missed their chance.
Ian, what were your thoughts?
Vocally, I thought it was pretty weak. I'm not a massive fan of his vocal style with the Lake Malawi stuff. It's nice fun pop stuff, but I didn't rate his performance particularly. It wasn't didn't feel very engaging. And yeah, his vocal was pretty weak for most of the song. And similarly with the his cover version, I don't think he sang that particularly well either. He seemed to be just a little bit flat a lot of the time and just lacking in power in the voice. So don't think it's a bad effort, but no, I'd expect, to be honest, I expected better from this song than I think they delivered.
And Martin, I know you've got some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, for a start, it's good enough in the studio because I played it on my Tuesday show just gone. I think he was a bit lost without the rest of Lake Malawi, to be honest. I think obviously he had the studio band, which they were perfectly good, you know, brilliant musicians, but it wasn't his musicians. So I think that dynamic had gone for a start. Yeah, but it's radio friendly, catchy, you know, the chorus is there. I don't think it's as good as Friend of a Friend though. And now whether the Polish viewers were looking at it and going, oh, this isn't as good as his Czech entry, so I'm not going to vote for it. Don't know. You know, that might have been one thing on people's mind, especially the public. But yeah, it was a good song, and it was my choice to go through, but before the whole show. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
Let's be honest, guys. If there hadn't have been an announcement about an announcement last night, I'd be asking if Lake Malawi was signed to BMG. Let's face it, this seems to be doing the rounds with everyone at the moment. Now, I do have another Jamala-style uncomfortable question. And I'm just looking around at who I've not really spoken to, and I've narrowed it down to Elliot or Gemma. Oh, right. Since neither of you are biting, I'm going to ask you both this then.
Damn it!
Obviously, Lake Malawi have been quite hot on the Eurovision scene and also on ESC Fan TV over the past year or so. And in one show, not so long ago, we listened to what was then their new hit, Stuck in the 80s. Should they have sent Stuck in the 80s for Albert to sing instead of Lucy? Elliot?
I'm not sure, actually. I think they're equally as strong as each other. I'm really not sure. I think if they wanted to do like a perfect like follow on from Friend of a Friend, then yes, because it is quite similar in all the positive ways possible. Lucy's although still very Lake Malawi, slightly different. But either which way, either it was Stuck in the 80s or Lucy, it was going to stand out because Lake Malawi are a standout band in their style and them as people, and you know that's what made the Czech Republic stand out last year, and they would have stood out this year. I'm going to say no because I did really like Lucy, and the melody is stuck in my head, and for me, I think that's more impactful thinking about Eurovision sense. So I say no. I think Lucy was the right choice.
Okay, and Gemma?
I agree. I love Lucy. It's such a nice song. It's so good. Yeah, I reckon it would have done well, especially with the three of them on there. Would have worked well.
Do you know what? And kudos for you to falling in my trap, which was I Love Lucy. Obviously, the 1950s American TV show. So I've just been trying to just gently tease you all into some cheesiness this evening. Now, Joe, I'm going to come to you very briefly because I did see you nod your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love all the songs, but I do love Stuck in the 80s a lot. And I think it would have gone down better with the public, to be honest. Again, I'm going to stick with my original comment, though. I didn't think the sound was very good there in the whole studio with every single one at all. But I think in an arena, Stuck in the 80s would have absolutely have smashed this. And I think even be better than Friend of a Friend, personally. Yeah.
Oh, well, it wasn't to be. We have a fantastic Alicia, which brings me to my final question. Will Poland be building empires this year? Straight over to Ian. What are we expecting from Poland this year?
Don't think we're expecting very much of them, to be honest. It's when last year's really stood out for good or bad. This one, I think it'll do reasonably well, but I don't think will it qualify? It'll very much depend what it's up against. If it's got strong songs against it, it might not even get through to the final. But it very much, I think that will very much depend on what it's up against in that semi.
I mean, let's face it, it's going to be what they're after, isn't it? They didn't qualify last year for the final. It's
a decent. I think also her performance will be quite critical to it. That shows a very stripped down format. You know, tiny little stage, there's no big production around it. See what they do with that as a performance. It could be the make or break between lifting it into qualifying and not. But I don't think, even if it does get through the final, I don't think it's going to do fantastic. I don't think it'll disgrace itself, but it's not. I don't think it's distinctive enough to really score well.
And Elliot, your take?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I think it will scrape through because this feels like a jury song, and especially if they, give it a revamp and make it more orchestral, I think that will appeal to the juries a lot. We've also got to take into account they haven't got Ukraine or Belarus, their neighbours, in the semi-final. But on the flip side, they do have the United Kingdom, and every single year, Poland get hour 12 from the televote, just purely on diaspora. And considering how close these semi-finals are getting, like more and more tight, and this feels like it's going to be a tight semi-final already, that 12 could tip them into the final. Once it's in the final, I think it's going to be like a Kasia Moss and just do nothing, probably be put on second or third if it's got no staging, and just be forgotten. So I think it will sneak in and finish bottom 5. But, Poland haven't qualified for 2 years. They need to get back into the final, and I think that'll be good enough for them when they make the final.
Interesting to see, Karen's comment I've just put up there. Semi-final 2 is becoming so strong, it's a risk. Let's see, another 10 songs that will come this week. I have to admit, that final bit, Karen's, I just look at that and I'm just like, oh yeah, there's a lot going on over the next week. There's a lot.
No
Gemma,
sleep.
Wrap this up for me. Where do we think?
Well, I would say non-qualified, but the thing is, every time I have said non-qualified on this show, they have qualified. So, if you're a fan of Poland, I may have done you a favour.
Nay! Now, obviously, stay tuned to ESC Fan TV because we will be doing a more in-depth review of Empires over the coming months or so. I think weeks, is more appropriate now. It's scary, isn't it scary? I'm really hoping she's making it across to Amsterdam or to LEP so that we can see her. And I have to say, guys, if you're sat here and you're in the United Kingdom and you've got a ticket for LEP, I only have one thing to say to you, and that's 5 weeks until the roof comes off the Café de Paris once again with another massive Eurovision Spectacular. Now,
I'm gonna miss you guys.
We'll get evidence of Joe dancing to Still Breathing for you, Gemma. We'll get Joe on the floor for Latvia.
Thank you.
I was going to say there'll be videos. There'll be videos galore. Now, guys, what's coming up next on the channel? Well, if you've got an hour and 20 minutes to kill, go and make yourself a cup of tea. Go and maybe have a nice piece of cake or some supper, or dinner, whatever. Be back here at 9 o'clock GMT, 10 o'clock Central European time, because we've got a spectacular Melody Festival semi-final to run through, and we've got the duels for Andra Chanson as well to discuss as well. Aside from that, we're back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, again 10 o'clock Central European time, for another edition of Bite Size. And there's going to be tons of stuff to talk about this week, although perhaps not as much. Looking at the schedule next week, could be a bumper edition there. So, guys, keep tuned to ESC Fan TV. Keep clicking the like and subscribe button. In the meantime, I'd like to say a massive thank you to my panel. Thanks to Elliot.
Thank you, as always. And look, Laurel Barker's national final empire continues, and she's now taking Poland with her.
Hey, I noticed your attempt to get on the scoreboard there. Thanks to Joe.
Thank you, folks. I'll see you very soon. Bite Size tomorrow for me.
Hey, thanks to Ian.
Thanks again. It's nice to be back on.
Big thanks to Martin.
Thanks for having me. I'll be on a show sometime soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, because we love having you. We need more Martin. I might launch a campaign, actually. That sounds good. Big thanks to Gemma.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, and I hope you get a bit more sleep now. Let's not forget, it is 20 to 6 in the morning in Australia at the moment. At the other end of the scale, it's 20 to 10 in Cyprus. Big thanks to Odin.
Good evening, guys. Nice to see you all, and see you again sometime, which is several times this next week.
Hey, this has been ESC Fan TV. Keep yourself tuned for more content coming soon. But for now, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.